Hey everyone, welcome back to Beekeeping with Natalie, or welcome to if you are new. Today's video is on extracting, our 2022 extracting video. We've done one each year that we've been doing YouTube, and so we're excited to show you some of the new upgrades that we've been able to experience this year and get, and so we're excited to show you that. So one of the things that we have is our Pierce uncapping tank. It's very nice and we do really like it. And then we also have the uncapping hot knife right here, which is currently on, so we're going to use it today, but I actually have a video dedicated to both of these products, which I'll leave the link right here if you want to check out that video. So we really like these and they're very nice. We also have the man leg uncapping tank, which we like. It's pretty good, but there's a couple little things that we're not a huge fan of, but we will kind of do a little bit of a section of the video that's dedicated to talking about it, which we'll get to here in a second. I'm just going to go over some of the items that we're using today, or the products that we're using today. Another thing that we have is, of course, our extractor, which is a Dadant 20 frame extractor. It's all mechanical, so we don't have to worry about any devices or whatever breaking, which is really, really nice, and we do like it. We've had it for, I think, 2 years now. Somebody had it for a really long time before us. So it's pretty old, but I'm convinced all old things last a long time because a lot of the new stuff tends to break really easily, but that might just be me. But it's really nice. The only thing about it that we have had to do is change the belt here, but Dadant actually carries it still, so it's been really easy just to do that. We did that, I think, once this year, not too long ago. So other than that, it's been working great. I'll show you the inside of it. So again, we can fit 36 frames, but it is a 20 frame extractor. So you can see all the slots where the frames go, but in between each one of those is actually space for another frame. So that's how we're able to fit 36, which has been really nice. We figured that out pretty quickly, and it does tend to spin all the honey out, or a good amount of it. We'll show you a frame by the end of it once we finish spinning it, so you can see how well it gets it. This is just a couple of frames that are already in it, so I guess I'll kind of show you before a little bit. So you can see these have actually been draining out for a little bit. We never got around to spinning it because I used it for a video the other day and then just never ended up spinning it. There's a couple of spots actually that's not fully uncapped, so I'll go back around and uncap these. My dad must have done those because I definitely didn't do that. But anywho, so that's a little bit about the extractor. Most of these products will have in the description, so you can check it out also. If we want to talk a little bit about the Man Lake uncapping tank, we do like it. It's great because one of my favorite things about it is we can fit a whole super in here to just sit here like the frames are right here. They fit perfectly, so it's really, really nice because we can fit almost a whole super. And the reason why we would do that is because we can have some honey spinning, and then at the same time as it's spinning, we're able to uncap some frames and put it right here, which is super great because then once we pull the frames out of the extractor, once they're done spinning, we'll put them in a super and then we're able to fill it right back up. A couple of years ago, we had to wait for it to be done spinning and then we could add the frames in. So it's been really nice to be able to do that this year. We've been able to go a lot quicker, which is really nice because we're out here in the heat. And so it's been really hot. We like to do it more on days when it's not too hot. This is the stand for the Man Lake. For the Man Lake uncapping tank. Actually, it goes this way. I was holding it right. Like this. I haven't used it a whole lot this year, but I have used it. And the only thing about this is the frame does fall off of the stand right here, which definitely isn't super great and can be a little bit difficult every now and then. Doesn't seem to happen too much on the Pierce one. Hopefully I'm not using it wrong. It's tilted, and so it's kind of hard to keep that frame on there. But other than that, it is very nice and we do like it. And then down here you can see, shout out to Mike Berry. He actually came up with this. I'm not sure if he came up with it, but we got the idea from him about the hamburger patties as our wax. So this is cappings that we had in here, and we ended up putting them into little hamburger patties like this and then stacking them. And we got a lot more honey out of them. And so here's the filter. This is all there is. So it filters through, and then that's it. There's no other filter. And so it's really getting those big chunks of wax and nothing else. So it gets a little bit difficult because we do have to use another filter just to get all of that wax out of it And the other thing is you can't see it because it's on this side. I think it's on this, oh, maybe it's on this side. Well, that's great. The gate right here is underneath it, which I see where they're coming from because you want to make sure you're getting all of that honey. But the thing is, you can fit a bucket nicely under here. But if you're wanting to put a filter under it, which is what you're going to have to do a lot of times because it's not filtering it a whole lot, you have to put a filter on top of this bucket, or we have been. And it's really, really hard to get the filter and the bucket under there because the filter adds a little bit more height to it. So you have to lift this up. But that's kind of the only thing that we've had a lot of trouble with on this. Other than that, it's pretty good and we do like it. The lid is over here. The lid's fine, it's nice, it's a good lid. It's all stainless steel, which I know a lot of people like. Only thing about the lid is these edges are pretty sharp. We did have to put some tape on it. But again, this man lake tank is something that I think you could definitely look into and have a lot of success with it if you were to change up a couple little things. Again, we're going to go ahead and use this Pierce uncapping tank today, and we're going to use our hot knife, and I'll probably end up using our scraper a little bit just because this is the end of our honey flow, or at least our main honey flow. We might have a little bit of a fall flow, I'm not sure, but this is the last of our honey. We'll probably extract today, and then we'll be done extracting for the year, which is nice, but also kind of sad, just because it means that the summer is coming to an end, which I'm excited for because I like the winter, but I know a lot of people, most beekeepers aren't excited for that. And so I'll see if I can find a frame that's pretty thick. We'll go with this one. Okay, well this one actually isn't, like you can tell, this is our last of our honey flow, so we just pulled all of it no matter what it looked like or really what it tested at, because we were going to put it in our dehumidifier room anyways, so we could get that moisture content down. All of this honey is probably really, really thick, which will be a little bit of a challenge. We just haven't got around to extracting it, so it's been sitting in the dehumidifier room for a while. But let's see, we'll just pull this frame out. So you can see it's just, they're not all completely drawn out. I'm trying to find a little bit better frame. If you want to see how we use this uncapping tank and the knife, you can definitely go check out that video. It has a little bit more explanation on this tank. And I wanted to focus a little bit more on the Man Lake one because I didn't make a dedicated video to it. So you can see some of this is like really thin, so it's not going to get to it, but that's not on the knife. It's more on us and the bees because we didn't put 9 frames in the... You'll have to check out the last video because I don't want to repeat too much on that video, but it just kind of explains a little bit more. So up here is not capped, which is nice because then I don't have to go up there. I just have to uncap this small spot here, which I'll try to get to. This cord isn't super long, but it's all right. The knife is pretty sticky. I haven't cleaned it. But so you can see it doesn't get all of it just because it's not super thick. Hopefully you can see it. We've got a little bit of a weird setup here. I just use a back and forth motion a little bit. This one's kind of not working out so well, but we'll keep it real and go ahead and put it in the video. So you can see the spots that it didn't get. That's where I'll take the scraper, which I'll grab right here, and we'll just pull it off. I know most people would use the scraper by just pulling it down like this. That works too, but it tends to break the wax a little bit more, so I just kind of go under it and then pull it up. And then this is nice too because you can scrape it off and it gets all of that wax off of the scraper here. You can get these off of Amazon, I believe. So we'll just uncap most of this. We want to get all of those cappings. Here we go, and then I'm not sure it's going to get this side, but we'll try. So I'm sorry if you watched the last video on the Pierce uncapping tank and it's kind of a little bit of repeating. It kind of feels like what this year has right now. This year is just a lot of repeating because we're just doing a lot of extracting lately, but again, this is our last round. Alright, so that one didn't get a whole lot, but it's okay. So sometimes it takes a lot longer than other times just because we have to do more scraping than using the knife. So it just shows how quick the knife really is. It's really, really nice, and we do like it. I'll show you what we were using last year to use as our uncapping tank, basically. It was just a bucket though. But I'll show you the stand that we had. I showed it in my last video, but I'm going to go ahead and show it again in case somebody didn't see it. It's really nice. If you're doing buckets still, if you're still uncapping into buckets, then you can use it. I'll go ahead and show you. But let's just put this right into the extractor. So this frame is ready to go in here. And then we'll go ahead and fill all of this up, and then we'll get ready to extract it, to start spinning it. And really the speed is used by this right here. You just turn it to make it faster, and then you'll turn it on right here. It's really not difficult at all, which is very nice. Here's the bucket stand. So you can fit a deep on here also if you're doing deep frames, which we don't do a whole lot of those just because they're a lot harder to work with, and we kind of like doing all mediums. We've done a couple shallows, but only for our comb. So anyway, yeah, here's what this looks like. It's great. We got it from Amazon. If you want to check it out, we'll leave it in the link down below, or in the description down below, sorry. Okay, so I think we'll go ahead and fill it up just because this takes a little bit of time and it's not super interesting once you see it the first time. So we'll go ahead and do that. And also, one more thing, all of these cappings right here, so you can see these are thick sheets right here. We're gonna put a glove on, and then we'll smash it all up because there's some pieces in here like this right here. There's a lot of honey down in there, and so we want to make sure we're getting as much as we can, because you can get a lot of honey out of the cappings. So we'll smush it up and we'll let it drain out for a couple days, and then we'll probably put it into these little hamburger patties like we did in here. So we've done this a couple times, and we've been able to get a lot of honey out of it, which is very nice. Another thing that I'll talk about is just this one holds 5 gallons of honey, which is really, really nice. This one doesn't take long to fill up the honey before your wax starts sitting in honey, but you could just have it draining the whole time. It's really up to you. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So we'll go ahead and basically spin all of it, and then we'll be back to finish out the video. Hey everyone, so it's been a few weeks since we've actually filmed that video. We ended up not getting around to showing what the frames looked like after we extracted it. We just got really busy and never got around to it, but typically what we do is we take all the supers out that we have extracted, because there's normally a little bit of honey still left on those frames, and so we set it out for the bees, and they get it really quickly when we're in the dearth, and so they clean it out. It's really nice because once they've cleaned it out, we can go ahead and start storing them, and they're ready to be stored. So this is where we're storing our supers. I have a video on like how we use our paramoth, what we're doing, why we have them here in our older camper, and I'll leave the video link in the top, I don't know if this is the left maybe for you, or right corner, yeah. And so if you want to check that out, I'll try to find it. Kind of talks a little bit more about it, but I'm still going to mention it today just so we can give you kind of an update on what we've done. It's pretty much the same thing from last year though. So we're in here, and basically We have everything cleaned out. My mom did an awesome job on cleaning everything, vacuuming, and it looks really great. So she's done all of this pretty much. I haven't done much of it just because it's her thing. She did really good. And so we have a couple more supers we're going to put in here. We have some shallows, but these are all of our mediums that are drawn out, so we don't have any foundation frames in it. We did go ahead and organize them out to where we pulled all those foundation frames out if they didn't pull them, or if they didn't draw them, sorry. So here they are. What we have is our lids on top. So like this is a Bob Benny lid is what we call them. And there's a hole for bucket feeding up here, so we went ahead and taped it. We actually taped it on both sides. I don't know if it matters, but we did. That way nothing can get into them or anything. And so we already did our paramoth. We've done 2 rounds so far. Our last one was last week on Wednesday. And so you can see it's pretty much all gone at this point. So we've done 2 rounds, and this is to help with wax moths because we don't want to get any of those throughout the year. So they will stay in here all winter. And here's the paramoth. I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can check it out if you want to purchase it. I don't know where the front is. Oops. Whatever. I'll grab it in a second. Here's the paramoth. It's actually kind of like a crystal. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be all one piece. I don't think it is, but it is. We've just been breaking it up. It has a very strong smell, but it's not too bad. You want to be careful while using it too, though, just because it is something you want to watch. It has instructions and everything on it. But I think that's pretty much it. Also right here we've got some bottom boards too. And so we like to make sure everything's enclosed tight so we don't get any mice in it or anything. So like the bottom of them are completely sealed. Nothing can get into them. We also have a dehumidifier in here, and we will run it every now and then during the winter just to keep it nice and dry in here. So nothing happens there. So it's really nice. We like this spot and it works really great. So that's why we're storing our supers in here. Any other supers that just have some foundation frames on it, we'll go ahead and put just like in the shed or something. So anyway, I want to talk about that. Hopefully you enjoyed the extracting video. If you have any questions on it, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And if you have tried out some of the Pierce uncapping take or the Man Lake, I'd love to know your experience on it. So thanks again for watching this video, and follow along for more bee adventures, and be here next time on Beekeeping with Natalie.